Okay, if you have a task like this that says list all the information given by the marks on the diagram, go with the easy stuff first. Notice that marking of the red square means that that angle is a right angle, which is 90 degrees. There are three different ways you can name that angle. You could say the measure of angle U is 90 degrees. You could say the measure of angle YUX is 90 degrees, or the measure of angle XUY. So that takes care of these three things right here. Take care of that angle and those markings. All right, I'm going to erase the yellow highlighters now. Okay, now notice what we have. I have one arch and one arch. So when you're doing markings for geometry, tick marks for like line segments, if they have the same tick mark, that means that those segments are congruent. If they are angles, one arc means that those angles are congruent. So you would say angle W is congruent to angle B. Now, the other way that you could name that, since this is V, we could say angle WVU is congruent to angle UVW. That would be another way that we could do it, or vice versa. So that takes care of the angle with one arc. So what we have remaining is we have these double arcs. Well, because both of those angles have a double arc, it means that those angles are congruent. So you could say, notice this time, so we're not going to call this, because this angle V has two angles, let's not go with that. Let's go with what we did previously. And now on this one, we're going to call it XWV. So angle XWV is congruent to YVW. Angle YVW. Those two angles are congruent. Just like that. All right, this is a really short video, but that's how you name things using markings. I'm trying to think if there's any other marking on here. According to the markings, that's what we have. Now, I'm going to add one other thing. Since we know these two angles are the same, and this angle is 90, we also know that this angle will be 45 degrees. This angle will be 45 degrees. Because when you have a triangle, the angles add up to 180. Well, 180 subtract that 90 degree angle gives 90 degrees, and the two angles are the same. So 90 degrees divide 2 means you have two 45 degree angles. Well, now because you know this is 45, these two angles sit on the same line. So this angle right here and this angle right here will be 180 degrees subtract 45 degrees, which is 135 degrees. So this angle will be 135 degrees. And again, we can get that from the markings because these angles are the same measure, and we have a right angle. These have to be 45 degree angles. And then because this 45 degree angle sits on this straight line, this 45-degree angle sits on this straight line. They become a linear pair, so 180 subtract 45 is 135 degrees. All right, that's it for this one.